Now let's start the Ruin Mysteries quest. If I was efficient, I would have started this quest and then progressed it as I was in Lumbridge, but I'm not that efficient. I'm just a casual RuneScape player. Let's complete this quest. There it is done. We've unlocked the rune crafting skill where you can actually create runes. In the centre of the barbarian village located to the west of Varrock, there's a cave system. It's more like a maze, which if you complete going through the 4 levels of the maze, you get increasingly better rewards. This was designed to make players more aware of account security. When you try and click on a door, there are lots and lots of doors in this maze. The door asks you a question about account security that you have to answer correctly in order to progress through the maze. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but it probably does teach you a few things because RuneScape is rife with scammers and people trying to hack your account all the time. Securing your account with an authenticator, securing your email address that you use for the account with an authenticator are crucial things. And if you want the 10,000 coin reward from this dungeon, you have to enable an authenticator on your account, which you should do anyway. And before we move on to become less of a bald noob, it's sponsor time. This video's sponsor is a game you've probably never heard of before. It's Raid Shadow Legends. It's a cross-play mobile and PC game with over 600 unique champions, all of which are incredibly detailed. No. Let's not get distracted. Despite all of the incredibly attractive characters, of course I've gone and made my squad up with a bunch of champions I can relate most to, the ogres. You know, there's not many games where you can pit a team of ogres up against some goat people. Luckily for me, this Minotaur boss and his little cronies isn't one of Raid's most difficult challenges. He's actually pretty easy to defeat, and I use it to train up these goofy low-level ogres while also farming a lot of scrolls which we use to upgrade the masteries on our big bad ogres. There's a lot to do in Raid and it just keeps coming. This month there's a lot going on like the Forge Pass Season 3 and they're bringing out new champions alongside some cool looking new Madame Ceres skins. And finally they're making a fan favourite, the Death Knight, into a legendary champion. So use the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get into Raid Shadow Legends. You'll get a free starter pack worth almost $30, including Tyrell and this in-game loot. You'll find these rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days. The first level gives you 2,000 coins and the enemies there aren't aggressive, so if you don't attack them they won't attack you. The second, third and fourth levels, however, the enemies are aggressive and they will attack you, so you do have to bring some food, maybe some armor too, and save your run energy from when you're running through the enemies. If you have low HP, every time you take damage just eat a fish or cooked chicken or whatever it is that you have, and eventually you can make your way through to the middle of the maze. Use the internet to find out the best routes to take through the maze, or you can go back and slow down the video because I do show how I get through the maze on each level just really quickly because it would take too long to show you. The first 3 levels gives you GP, and the final level you can choose between 2 sets of boots, fighting boots or colourful boots. They're both the exact same, they just look different, and they're the best boots you can wear in free to play. They give you some extra defense statistics compared to leather boots. With my very first stack of cash I get in free to play, I always like to buy the Chronicle from the Draynor market. Buy the Chronicle book, buy a bunch of the teleport cards, use the teleport cards on the book, and you've got some cheap teleports to Varrock. They take you to just the south of Varrock near the Champions Guild. It's a very handy teleport to have, and you can equip it so you can wear it and walk around, not taking up an inventory space. So we completed Adventurer Jon's combat tasks. We didn't complete any of the skilling ones. They're quite easy, you only have to get level 5 on a few skills. Let's do that. Using the bronze axe given to all players after they complete Tutorial Island, we started chopping down the normal trees around Draynor village. Watch out for the jail guards just east of Draynor, they will blast you. And we actually worked our way down towards Lumbridge, chopping a few trees on the way to get level 5 woodcutting, because then we could speak to Adventurer Jon and get our axe upgrade. And while we're in Lumbridge, going to Bob's axe shop, we bought a steel axe too. To equip an axe or a pickaxe, you need the appropriate attack level for that tier. So if it's say a mithril axe, you need level 20 attack to wield the mithril weaponry. However, if you want to chop a tree with that axe, you need 1 level above the required attack level. So now with level 6 woodcutting, we can now actually use the steel axe. And now with level 11 woodcutting, we can now use a black axe. Now I want to do a spot of fishing. I've taken out the small net that you start the game with. Draynor, the nice little village that it is for new players, you can fish shrimp right here at Draynor, at level 1 fishing. And although Draynor seems like a little quaint village, it is fairly deadly for new players. There's dark wizards here by the fishing spot and by the willow trees, and if you're low enough level, below level 14 I believe, they will just attack you. And there's the jailers that we saw earlier. It's a deadly little village. There is level 5 fishing here in Draynor, another task for Johnny complete. And while we're in Draynor, I'm going to complete the Ernest the Chicken quest. It's a self-contained quest in this giant spooky manor just to the north of Draynor. And I've done this quest so many times over the years that I can now complete the maze, the lever maze, without needing a guide. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Should I be proud or should I be sad that I know this maze off by heart? It does make me a little happy because I've got memories from back in the day when I was a little kid. This place used to be rammed filled with noobs who didn't know what to do, and there was the occasional like high level player, and by high level I mean like level 30 player thinking they were badass, teaching all the noobs how to do the maze. Bring back those days, those were great. Hey, 4 quest points and 300 coins. Not a great reward, but we do need the quest points. We do plan on completing every single free-to-play quest before we become a member. Oh no, I must go to Varrock and I don't want to walk. Hey, chronicle teleport. It is quite handy, you should get it. By the way, if you see these bank tabs on the left hand side of my banking screen, these have nothing to do with Fragile Nook, the account that I'm playing on right now. They're RuneLite tabs from my main account that carry over onto this account for some reason. They don't do anything, they're meaningless. I still have a trade restriction for over 7 hours of in-game playing time, so I can't sell my cowhides and have a bunch of gold in my bank, but you can sell smaller, more obscure items. You only can't sell or trade heavily farmed items, so it's to combat gold farmers, it's not a punishment. So I could still sell gems and some of the other stuff I had lying around in the bank, and now I can buy some magic equipment to train some magic. Let's buy a fire staff. I also bought an air staff and a bunch of mind runes. At level 1 magic, all we can cast is air strike, so we don't need the fire staff just now, so let's just deposit it. And with Adventurer Jon's starting kit we got at the very beginning of this account, we got some wizard robes. So wearing the hat gives us a little bit of a magic attack bonus, as does the robe top. But the skirt doesn't do anything. I think that's just for fashion, to complete the look, so we don't really need this skirt. Let's just get rid of that. You want to make sure you're not wearing anything that decreases your magic attack bonus. To fight with the spell you want to use, you can click on the spell in your magic book, then click on the monster, but you don't have to. There's an easier way. Go to combat options, click on the spell, and choose the spell you want to cast as an auto attack. So now when we click on the cow, it just auto attacks with the magic spell, and we get magic XP. I should have checked the rewards before going to the Grand Exchange to buy magic supplies, because we already get staves from Adventurer Jon as we level up level 5. We get an air staff, 10 earth staff, 20 fire staff. At least we can sell them once we get them on the Grand Exchange. They're worth 1000 plus GP. And the reason we're at the cow field again is because they drop cowhides. Cows drop the cowhides, and the cowhides are pretty good money. So most creatures in RuneScape are completely stupid. So let's close the gate here and attack. Let's attack this goblin over the fence. He's not going to come and attack me. He's just going to stay on that side of the fence, and he's not going to do anything about it. He's just going to let me blast him. He's going to walk up to me and look at me. Even if I open the gate, he's not going to walk around the gate and attack me. Okay, right now he's attacking me. He's attacking me, but if I walk up here, he gets stuck behind the gate and he can't attack me. This is called Safespot. It's a very handy thing to know about, and it's a good way to trade magic or range. You can just safe spot creatures and not take any damage at all. On the way to deposit some hides and claimed some rewards of Jon, we got 2 staves, a bunch of runes, and we've got some fishing supplies. Apparently I forgot to pick those up earlier. Because we got 14 magic, we can now cast Fire Strike, which is a very powerful spell for being quite low level. Johnny Boy gave us a bunch of runes, air runes, so we can equip the fire staff, deposit the air staff, and now we can cast with the mind runes and the air runes Fire Strike. Let's turn it into our auto spell. These cows are about to get absolutely blasted. Oh my god, I just one-shot that cow. Crap, 8 damage? Was not expecting that. Jeez. There is level 20 magic. It took no time at all. Let's kill this cow and speak to Adventurer Jon. We got 300 air runes and mind runes, nice, and a fire staff. We're done with magic. Every now and then it's worth taking the time to organize your bank. I've taken out junk that I'm going to sell. It's in my inventory right now, and in my bank I'm just going to organize items into a couple of tabs. In the first tab I like to have things I use frequently. In the second tab it's going to be skilling. The third tab is things we're going to give away once the trade restriction is up, and the fourth tab is quest items. It's now time to train range. I'm going to buy 1000 iron arrows, which should be more than enough for my free-to-play endeavours, and I'm going to buy an oak shortbow out of the archery shop in Varrock. If you speak to the range tutor, you can toggle your ammo to equip whenever you pick it back up off the floor. So when you shoot something with arrows, some of the arrows fall on the floor. If you pick them up, they'll automatically go back into your quiver. That's the option I'm enabling right now. And when you're training range or just using range in general, short bows are always preferable to longbows. They just have more DPS. When you have a shortbow equipped, go to the combat options and put it on rapid. That's the best option for every shortbow. It shoots very quick. It's the highest DPS. DPS being damage per second. The longbows shoot very slowly. Although they're more accurate, it takes longer to kill creatures generally. There's level 5 range. This is a lot slower than magic, that's for sure. Jon gave us a leather coif and some bronze arrows, nice. Just like with magic, we're going to make sure we're not wearing anything that decreases our range attack bonus. And the only thing I have equipped that does do that is the boots, the colourful boots. They negate it by 1. Everything else either adds to it or does nothing. The Amulet of Accuracy that was donated to me by that stranger does have a fairly significant increase, but I wouldn't recommend buying one. If you're going to buy an amulet for training range, buy an Amulet of Power from the Grand Exchange. And we can now, with 5 range, equip the Oak Shortbow too. We just got level 10 range, we can get more rewards from Adventurer Jon. And while we're on our way to speak to AJ, I found someone trying to drop trade but failing, and they had millions and millions of GP worth of items lying on the floor that I picked up. If you want to find out what I do with this stranger and his items, again, go watch the video that I said to go watch earlier on in the video. And on this kill we should get, there it is, 20 range. We can now move on from training range, from training combat, and move on from killing cows. That's it, no more cows, we've got enough cowhides. For completing all of the combat tasks, we were given a voucher by AJ, which if you speak to the NPCs it has listed on it, you get a bunch of free stuff. And we only have one more thing to do for AJ. We've only got to get level 5 mining, so let's just do that. I've got a bronze pickaxe in my bank, but if you don't have one, I think you can buy one out of Bob's axe shop. And in the Lumbridge swamp to the south, if you go through the graveyard near the Lumbridge church, you will find a little mining spot. It's empty, I can't believe it's empty. Free-to-play usually has a lot of bots usually mine because it's a fairly good moneymaker in free-to-play. And there it is, level 5 mining. We've done everything for Adventurer Jon, and doing the task for level 5 mining is actually worth it because as a reward you get 20 tin and 20 copper ore. And ore are fairly valuable, they're like 70 GP each, so it's a decent little chunk of cash after you sell them on the Grand Exchange. To check the value of tradable items on the Grand Exchange, if you go to your equipment tab and click on the little money bag with the cash symbol on it, and then put all the things you want to sell into the window, it gives you a rough estimate of what they're worth on the GE. With the HD plugin, I can't really see the fishing spots next to the shore, so I've had to turn on the fishing plugin. We're going to use the rod and bait that Johnny Boy gave us a while ago to train some fishing. So if you right click the XP orb next to your minimap, you can customize XP drops, so when you get XP in the game, a little XP drop thing pops up next to your minimap. It's quite a cool little feature, and I'd recommend you turn it on because it lets you know when you've caught a fish, or if you're training melee or range or magic, the higher the XP drop, the more damage you're about to deal. It tells you just before the little hit splat shows up. And you can customize it, so it's quite cool. So we got level 20 fishing, it's now time to fly fish. I'm going to buy a fly fishing rod from the fishing shop in Port Sarum, which is a town just to the west of Draynor. And because we killed chickens at the start of this account, we've got a bunch of feathers already, which is the bait needed to fly fish. Now we're going to head to the Barbarian Village. That's the spot I like to fly fish. Before we start fly fishing though, I need to get some cooking levels, so I'm cooking up all the fish I've caught previously here in Edgeville, which is the town just north of the Barbarian Village. So I lost a lot of footage between the last clip and this clip, but in the meantime I've gotten about 20 fishing levels and 20 cooking levels. Once you can cook trout, you can come to this fly fishing spot in Barbarian Village, catch trout and then cook them on the fireplace like this guy in Mithril's doing. Then eventually you can catch salmon and also cook the salmon if you've been training your cooking on the same fire, and if you want to deposit your fish, your cooked fish, you can do it in the bank to the north in Edgeville. So I've just run out of feathers. I've used up all the feathers getting these levels, and I'm 39 cooking and 39 fishing. One level away from the goal. I want 40 in most stats here in free-to-play, but I can get cooking here because I can pick up this raw trout. I just need one more fishing level. People who come fishing here who just want fishing XP and nothing else, they tend to drop all the fish on the ground so other players can pick it up, deposit it to sell, or keep it for food, or cook it for cooking XP, whatever you want. And there it is, 40 cooking, our first level 40 on this account in free-to-play. Fragile Nook, he's becoming a big boy, slowly but surely. Slowly but surely, Fragile Nook, we're getting there. And I grabbed the small fishing net from the bank, went back to our roots to skill in Draynor. We got level 40 fishing here, catching shrimps, just to get the last level. We can now catch lobsters, which you can catch in free-to-play, but I don't really think it's worth it unless you plan on being in free-to-play for a long time. And we can finally trade, we can finally sell over 500 cowhides that we've collected on the Grand Exchange for a whopping, how much GP? 106k GP, that's a lot of GP for this free-to-play boy. So, a goal check, we've got 2 level 40s already, we've done a bunch of quests, and we've got over halfway towards our cash stack goal of 200k. In fact, after selling a bunch of stuff on the Grand Exchange after cleaning out the bank, we've got 131k GP. Because the trade restriction was up, I was also able to give away all the items I had either been given or picked up to noobs and free to play, so I feel good about myself and the bank is totally cleaned out. This is a very good spot to end this episode.